Trump administration's shutdown of a multi-billion-dollar grant program is a blow to homeowners in Rancho Palos Verdes. They were relying on some of those funds to help shore up the community from ongoing landslides. And some of those homes sit just down the street from President Trump's luxurious golf course.
Well, in a KCAL News investigation, our Jeff Nguyen spoke to homeowners, some who supported President Trump, about the funding that's now gone away.
Mr. Trump promised to support Rancho Palos Verdes when he campaigned there last fall. But the land continues to move and this main road needs constant repair. The landslide has about doubled in size after the area in this map marked in purple was supposed to get financial help. And this is all happening about 2 miles from where the president has some financial interest. 85-year-old Corinne Gerard lives on a slippery slope.
So this has to be filled twice a day. And this earlier had a hole all the way up to here.
She uses a walking stick and a cane to find and fill fissures around her house. In Rancho Palos Verdes, where a handful of landslides has been moving homes for years, recent wet winters made things worse. What are your morning chores?
Morning chores is get up, get the shovels out, get the wheelbarrows out, and start filling the fissures.
In August of 2023, Rancho Palos Verdes was awarded a $23 million grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency to slow down the Portuguese Bend landslide. But in April, FEMA abruptly canceled the nearly $5 billion Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities program nationwide, saying in a press release it was wasteful and ineffective. It was a 180 from what President Trump said on the campaign trail in September of last year at the Trump National Golf Course.
And I want to express my support for all of the families affected by the landslides in Rancho Palos Verdes.
How do you feel about the president's promise now?
Well, he hasn't done very good on that promise. You know, I like some of those other issues that he's taken care of.
John Coolidge is a longtime Trump supporter whose construction company built the road outside Trump National Golf Course in Rancho Palos Verdes along with some other projects. This is drone video of what his home used to look like. Has this changed your support for the president?
Well, I mean, not really. And then I really didn't care much for the other choice.
Here it is now. He's brought in about 10,000 cubic yards of dirt to shore up his property that sits in the canceled grant zone. A CBS News analysis found communities supporting the president made up the majority of those being deprived of federal funds for natural disasters. According to California election results data, in 2024, in the neighborhood surrounding Trump's golf course, 54% of the vote went to former Vice President Kamala Harris, while 42% went to President Trump. By contrast, LA County went 65 to 32 in favor of Harris.
Several thousand residents that have been affected.
John Cruikshank was RPV's mayor when then-candidate Trump made that campaign promise. Cruikshank, who's a civil engineer, says the federal grant would have been a force multiplier, providing more equipment to the water extraction systems the city has been funding on its own with measurable success.
The land at its worst was moving about 50 feet per year, and now it's currently about 20 feet per year in the worst areas. Some of the areas aren't moving at all anymore.
BRIC was originally created in 2018 during Trump's first term to help vulnerable communities with natural disasters like hurricanes and floods. CBS News analysis of FEMA data found 86 grants were previously awarded in California, worth $1.14 billion for projects like retrofitting and fire prevention. Nearly 95% have been canceled.
That's part of the landslide.
Dave Bradley is the current mayor. He says RPV isn't being singled out because BRIC grants have been canceled across the country while the federal government has its hands full. Could this have a ripple effect on the president's golf course?
Absolutely. It's one of the primary routes that people use to get to the golf course.
In less than 2 years, the city has dipped into its reserves, spending nearly $50 million on repaving this stretch of road, sometimes twice a day, just a couple of miles from Trump's golf course.
If I could speak to President Trump today, I would say, sir, When you were out here and you saw the landslide a year ago, I hope you remember what you saw because we really are in need here.
Both the mayor and former mayor are registered Republicans who are cautiously optimistic Washington will step in to help.
Whoops, we've got another. See how it's collapsing?
Corinne Girard's house sits outside the brick project zone, which originally included 200 homes. The land movement has about doubled since the grant was awarded. Cruikshank says 650 homes are currently in the landslide. Girard says she has sunken thigh-deep into the dirt several times as she's tried to save her beloved home.
That's the reason I carry a backpack, because my phone is here. If anything happened to me, I could call a neighbor and say help.
Bracing for a distress call while a community is already crying for help. The Department of Homeland Security sent us a statement saying DHS and FEMA have delivered robust aid since January to LA County, home of Rancho Palos Verdes, with $132 million in individual assistance, over 500 dedicated staff, shelter to more than 2,800 households, and $3 billion in SBA low-interest disaster loans. Jeff Nguyen, KCAL News investigates.